Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone. First up, we've got woke activists turning basic biology into a guessing game.
Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. Now, you can call yourself
Cis
whatever
men
you
don't
want.
menstruate, but trans men do menstruate.
No,
Same
they
as
don't.
non-binary people.
Only women.
Menstruating is not exclusive
Yes,
to
it
cis
is.
women. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So explain to me as to why my body
if
menstruated at
if
some
your
point
chromosomes
then.
are XX and you're young, you menstruate. If you're XY, you don't.
Correct, but what about trans men and non-binary?
They're
We're
not men.
excluding a whole group of
They're
people
women
that
dressed
menstruate.
as men.
Well, what's a man to you? You define a man for me.
You have chromosomes that are X and Y. That's what a man is.
So why are we just looking at the science of this as an
The
example
science.
when we've learned sex and gender identity are they're completely different things.
They're not completely
They
different
are
things.
completely different.
Completely different words.
It's what you're born with, the reproductive organs you have. Gender is what you identify with. They're completely
Well, I don't
different
accept that
things.
distinction. You have to argue for it. You're just giving a conclusion. You're just making it up.
They're claiming trans men menstruate like it's a revolutionary discovery. Chromosomes, facts, details, who cares? Every statement comes with a side of confusion and moral grandstanding. The louder they shout, the more reality politely waves goodbye. Woke people canceling logic, one absurd claim at a time. Next up, the woke panel is losing it over Vince Dow's Asians Succeed crash course.
Statistically, it is true that Asians, right, on average, make more money, better test scores, get into better colleges, all that stuff. I think the question is, why is that? And I don't know, model minority, whatever that label wants
That's
to mean.
actually a myth because we cannot be.
Well, no, listen. Well, let me finish my point. We need to observe what makes people successful and unsuccessful. And I think when you look at trends that are generally true in the Asian community, not of everyone, but are generally true, usually you have families that are sticking together. You have people are taught to work hard in school, not get into trouble. I think that translates to why Asians en masse are successful. And I don't think you have to be Asian or white for that matter to not have kids out of wedlock, not, commit crime, not cause trouble, or whatever it is. It's just a matter of common sense. That's what makes people successful. And if that's so-called assimilation, having a nuclear family, buying a house, going to school, whatever it is, then yeah, okay, call me a pro-assimilation then.
I think there's a difference between assimilation and erasure. Yes.
Purple-haired activist keeps shouting model minority is a myth, like repeating it makes it true. Another jumps in about assimilation versus erasure. Every reaction is louder than the last, full of moral outrage and confusion, proving once again that reality hitting woke people is a full contact sport. Now, we've got Lawrence Fox, who just roasted woke activists like a master chef.
People are looking to be upset because we're so affluent. They're going, well, Martin Luther King did a great thing in the 60s and he gets spat out and beaten as they cross the bridge in Selma. I want an activist cause. So what can we go for now? Well, we've done homosexuality, we've done race. Okay, let's reinvigorate race and then let's go for chopping dicks off young people. Social justice, man, get out there. Let's affirm these children.
He's pointing out that modern activism isn't about real struggle. It's about being offended for fun. Martin Luther King got spat on and beaten, and now we have people hunting causes like it's a hobby. Social justice, he says, affirms the kids and then drops the mic with, "It's bollocks." Even Barack Obama is handing out reality checks.
This idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities.
Yep.
People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids. And, share certain things with you. And I think that one danger I see among young people, particularly on college campuses, Malia and I talk about this. Yara goes to school with my daughter. But I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media, there is this sense sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people. And that's enough. Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or used the wrong verb, then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself. Because man, you see how woke I was? I called you out. Let me get on TV, watch my show, watch Grownish. You know, that's not activism. That's not bringing about change. You know, if all you're doing is casting stones, you know, you're probably not going to get that far. That's easy to do.
On stage with Yara Shahidi, he tells the audience to quit pretending that tweeting outrage is the same as changing the world. He pokes fun at the "look how woke I am" performance, complete with a parody voice, and the crowd eats it up. When a former president has to remind people that moral grandstanding on social media is not activism, you know the participation trophy era has gone too far. Now we have Jerry Seinfeld, who is not interested in turning comedy into a census report.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males. Of 22 episodes
yeah,
that you've
let's
had.
get into that.
No, but you
take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here? Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. Really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares? It's just funny. You know, funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested. Okay. And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that, but everyone else is kind of with their little calculating, is this the exact right mix? You know, I think that's, to me, it's anti-comedy.
When asked why his guests are mostly white men, he fires back with a joke about the sea of whiteys in the crowd. Then he cuts straight to the point, saying the only qualification that matters is being funny. For him, race quotas are not progress. They are the opposite of comedy, and the audience cannot stop laughing. Next up, Bill Maher is reminding his own team that losing with moral superiority is still losing.
What good is liberalism if you don't win elections? Last week, Massachusetts Congressman Seth Moulton said, "I have 2 little girls. I don't want them getting run over on a playing field by a formerly male athlete. But as a Democrat, I'm supposed to be afraid to say that." Yes, there's the problem in a nutshell. Because Congressman Moulton sounds reasonable to me, but his campaign manager immediately resigned in protest. Let me make this as plain as I can to the smart people. The campaign manager who resigned, yeah, let that person go. Marginalize that guy. Try making too woke be a cancelable offense.
He points out that Democrats keep tripping over their own purity tests, this time with a campaign manager storming off over a comment about transgender athletes. Maher shrugs it off and says the real problem is letting the too woke crowd steer the bus. According to him, if anything deserves to be canceled, it is the obsession with being performatively woke. And now we have Alan West being asked the dumbest question of the night.
Do you identify as black? No, it's a serious question because you might not identify. Can you please put the mic? Thank you. Okay.
When I walked into the room,
I am not done with my question.
Oh, young lady.
I'm just asking you to listen to me.
And I'm about to answer the first question.
But I didn't finish my question.
Okay. Yeah, I'm black.
A student demands to know if he identifies as black, as if that is some kind of gotcha. Wes just smiles, says yes, and the room cracks up while she keeps trying to talk over him. It is less a debate and more proof that outrage culture has officially run out of material. Next up, Senator Josh Hawley serving a lecture on woke double standard.
So you think it's fine to say to religious people that they are prohibited from gathering outside, wearing a mask, socially distanced. They can't do it. But if you want to come and protest, defund the police, if you want to support that, that's fine. You can gather in mass, person to person, close up, thousands of people. That's okay. That discrimination's okay. That's your position?
Senator, that is not my position.
It was your position. It's what you argued.
I did not write these orders. What I said.
You defended it in court. And you just articulated to me what I take to be your position. Why were the restrictions that you defended struck down as discriminatory? Why were they? You know the facts. You're a good lawyer. Why'd you lose?
Senator.
Oh, come on, Judge. Don't make me do this. Do you want me to go through it for you? You lost because Mayor Bowser was going to mass protests herself personally with thousands of people. At the same time she was doing that, she was prohibiting churches, religious people, from gathering socially distanced outside wearing masks.
He goes after Lauren Alicon for defending church shutdowns during COVID, while mass protests rolled on without a problem. Every time she tries to respond, he cuts her off and reminds her she already lost the case. Then he brings up the mayor marching in protest while churches stayed closed, sealing it as peak hypocrisy. Here's a guy in a green hoodie reminding us that America once lost its mind over cartoon candy.
There's just been a massive drama over these characters. Mars just cancelled their own cartoon characters. This is ridiculous, by the way, so hold tight. M&M's have these mascots. They call them spokes candies. A little while ago, they changed the appearance of some of these. Brown M&M went from high heels to less high heels. Green M&M started wearing sneakers. Meanwhile, orange M&M had an anxiety attack. I mean, this is relatable. So what? Big deal, eh? Until Tucker Carlson on Fox News got wind of the story, then this happened.
Brown M&M has, quote, transitioned from high stilettos to lower block heels. Also less sexy. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we've achieved equity.
He was angry that the fictional characters on M&M packs were less sexy. I'm not going to kink shame anyone. If anyone gets turned on by anthropomorphized images of candy, that is totally your thing. That is fine. You do you, I'll do me. That's cool. It caused such an uproar that Mars then said they were going to cancel the spokes candies.
We've decided to take an infinite pause from the spokes candies.
Why? I mean, why? It's just some dude who's mildly offended by some cartoon characters, like, that are totally inoffensive, by the way. Whether we should use cartoon characters to sell food is another matter entirely, but all the time we are, I think the height of the heels on there is pretty irrelevant. Mars should have stood proud. However, there's a twist to this story. Fast forward and we find that Mars never actually did cancel the candies. They played us. Orange has now released a Spotify playlist for calming your anxiety, and Yellow is now working with Snickers, which I think shows that M&Ms do have a better sense of humor than Tucker Carlson.
He runs through Tucker Carlson's meltdown about less sexy M&Ms, the fake news that Mars had canceled the spokes candies, and the big reveal that it was just a marketing stunt. In the end, the only thing that got exposed was how ridiculous outrage media can look when they take candy commercials seriously. And now Konstantin Kizin steps into the Oxford Union and takes woke culture head on.
I am so tired of talking about woke culture. No, free speech is not some right-wing reframing of whatever. It's the foundation of Western civilization. Upon this civilization is built. I don't have to make the point that has been made by far better people that the only way to deal with the problem of racism is to treat people on the content of their character and nothing else. And the fact that woke culture seeks to overturn that is a new form of racism that we must all oppose. I am not going to talk to those of you who already agree with me, which I imagine is most of you. I want to talk to those of you who are woke and who are open to rational argument. A small minority, I accept. Because one of the tenets of wokeness is, of course, that your feelings matter more than the truth. But I believe in you. I believe there are those of you here who are woke, who are open to rational argument, so let me make one.
He defends free speech as the foundation of Western civilization, calls out identity politics as a new form of racism, and challenges the woke belief that feelings matter more than truth. This isn't a rant, it's a reality check, and Keishan delivers it with the clarity that woke ideology can't withstand. Next up, Konstantin Kizin compares free speech in Russia to free speech in Britain, and somehow Britain comes out looking worse.
In Russia last year, 400 people were arrested for things that they said on social media. 400 people in Russia. Obviously, this country is very different. How many people do you think were arrested in Britain for things they said on social media last year?
Go on.
Take a guess.
I have no idea.
3,300.
Really? Arrested for what they'd said on social media? Yeah. Really? What sort of things get you arrested?
Well, one example I give in my show is there was a young woman from Liverpool called Chelsea Russell. Her friend was killed in a car crash, a 19-year-old woman. And she posted the lyrics of his favorite song on her Instagram, the lyrics. And there was a rap song, so the lyrics contained several instances of the N-word. Okay? She was arrested, prosecuted, found guilty, given 500 hours of community service and a fine, tagged, and for a year she was under 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew.
My goodness.
In Britain.
In Britain.
In 2018.
He points out Russia arrested 400 people over posts, while Britain managed 3,300, including a woman punished for quoting rap lyrics online, community service, a fine, an ankle tag, and even a curfew, all for Instagram. The example leaves John Anderson staring like he just learned censorship now comes with paperwork. Next up, former Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong just gave woke culture a reality check.
In the West, they got a movement called wokeness, where you are super sensitive about other people's issues and you become hypersensitive when other people somehow or other say things or mention things or refer to you without the respect which you or your super subgroup feel you are entitled to. It leads to very extreme attitudes and social norms, particularly in some academic institutions, universities. You talk about safe spaces, you talk about appropriate pronouns, you talk about how I'm about to say something which may be offensive to you. If you don't want to hear it, perhaps you'd like to leave now. And life becomes very burdensome. And I don't think we want to go in that direction. It does not make us a more resilient, cohesive society with a strong sense of solidarity. We must be more robust.
While others tiptoe around feelings, Lee called it out straight. Woke culture is turning life into a performance of sensitivities. Safe spaces, endless pronouns, trigger warnings. He's not buying it. And why should he? A society obsessed with avoiding offense isn't stronger. It's fragile. This time, John Cleese flips the whole woke fight into a punchline.
Told that the woke movement is strong in Australia. That very much surprises me because the basic idea of woke is let's be nice to people. And that's not a new idea. There was a guy called Jesus Christ who had that idea.
That's true, but they definitely cancelled him.
Good joke, Charlie.
I see on Twitter you engage in that debate a lot about cancel culture and the way it can stifle comedy. But the audience will decide at the end of the day. Anyone can say what they want, but if it's funny, it's funny.
But people have different senses of humour. There's no question about that. I am offended all the time by most of the things I read in the newspaper and a lot in the media, but I'm not trying to stop any of it because I believe in that Voltaire thing, whereas I defend your right to express your opinion, even if I totally disagree with it. What I found with most of the woke people won't debate or discuss their ideas, because if they do, they might give some validity to the idea that the other side has a few interesting things to say. And that, I think, is quite totalitarian.
He shrugs that being woke is basically just be nice, then laughs when the host reminds him even Jesus got cancelled. The chat drifts into comedy and free speech, with Cleese holding firm that jokes live or die on audience taste, not outrage patrols. Now John Cleese plays host from a velvet armchair, tossing Caitlyn Jenner the big woke question.
I want to know what you really feel about woke.
I hate it. I am so against it. You have to realize, and being in the trans community, you think, oh my gosh, you must be.
You're not expecting that.
Yeah, you don't expect it. But I've been around a long time. I've seen a lot. I've always been a very proud American, and I'm proud of our culture and everything. And I see what's happening in the woke world. And it, to be honest with you, really, really bothers me.
She just laughs and fires back. I hate it. Adding that even as a trans woman, she is done with the whole thing. Jenner calls herself a proud American, sounding alarms about society's direction, while Cleese grins at the bluntness. Up next, Donald Trump gives us his grand definition of woke, and shocker, it is not from a dictionary.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to okay?
He basically boils the whole thing down to losers and disaster, and the crowd eats it up like it is gospel. It is less political theory and more open mic night for applause lines. Closing things out, we land on the internet's favorite pastime, canceling dinner plans.
Can someone please explain to me why Kristen Bell is getting canceled for this dinner? This is the problem with woke culture when it's not done right. People are calling them out because there's no diversity in the photo. As far as I know, it's a friends gathering. As a woman of color, as a Latina, sometimes I have a big hangout with all my Latina girlfriends or all my Latina friends or my family. Nobody is calling people out for just hanging out with their group of people. That's okay. If you start calling out people for doing nothing wrong, it takes away from people that are actually trying to do good work in the space of DEI.
Kristen Bell takes heat for a group photo, and suddenly, the seating chart is treated like a social justice issue. One woman rolls her eyes at the outrage, pointing out that not every meal needs to pass a diversity audit, because if we are fact-checking potlucks for representation, maybe the movement lost the plot, and there you have it, another highlight reel of woke culture canceling itself into oblivion. Celebs, politicians, comedians, nobody's safe when the outrage machine gets rolling. Smash that subscribe button, tell me which moment had you laughing or cringing the hardest, and stay tuned.